Hey guys, Lyra Linx here. I was finally able to watch Detective Pikachu after a long work week and finally getting some days off. I saw the movie with my boyfriend and had us wear matching Pikachu shirts because I'm a nerd and he goes along with my nerdy whims. I wasn't entirely sure what to think going in, but at the very least, I was hoping it would be cute. And boy, was it. I honestly couldn't even control my fangirling throughout the movie. I'm surprised I didn't break my boyfriend's hand, since I would squeeze it in excitement every time I saw a Pokemon I liked or a cute scene in general. This movie is definitely a must-see movie for any Pokemon fan, I would say. The unique art style makes many Pokemon look really cute for the most part, and I love looking at different artistic interpretations of Pokemon in general. Some Pokemon, such as Mr. Mime for example, looked awkward to me, and I know many people have complained about Apom looking off, but for the most part the Pokemon looked pretty good. Sadly though, none of my top favorite Pokemon made it into the movie, and I can't even express how badly I wish I could have seen Torchic. Moving on, the plot is decent and interesting as the main character searches to see what happened to his father, finding out if he is alive or dead and discovering his old partner, Pikachu, who has amnesia. The movie takes a few twists and turns, but in my opinion, they were predictable. Anyone who has seen a lot of Pokemon movies, or just any regular movies in general, honestly, would be able to predict the change in events. However, I have to say, the concept of controlling Pokemon and so on has always been a concept I found interesting in Pokemon films. It reminded me of Pokemon Forever just a little bit, with the evil Pokemon being controlled by the main villain. I like this movie for keeping things simple. The plot is decent and doesn't try too hard to be out of this world. Honestly, I feel like if they would have put too much effort into it, it wouldn't have been as enjoyable. And by keeping things sort of interesting while just still focusing more on the Pokemon and humor aspect, it did a really good job of presenting itself. It kept my interest, and overall the movie seemed to focus on being more sweet and funny, as I said, which was a better fit for it overall. Casting Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu seemed like a perfect choice to me, since he is a funny person in general, and thus was able to get into the role pretty well. It also really seems to make Pikapool come to life. As for the characters in this movie, they aren't really anything super special, but it all works for what it is. The main character is a kid that doesn't really want to interact with Pokemon, and is an orphan hung up on the death of his parents. Due to this and how much time his father spent with Pokemon rather than him, he kind of doesn't want to get attached. Like most teenage boys, Tim's interested in girls and quickly falls for the female lead of the story, Lucy Stevens. Let me just say, they picked some really generic English names for the characters. Anyway, Lucy is a reporter that, for some unexplained reason, seems to know something more about what happened to Harry Goodman, his father, and wants to get the scoop on it. Their first interaction felt so awkward to me, in all honesty. Lucy is created to be sort of this generic version of a reporter that people like to put out for some reason, that's made way too obsessive about finding a story. It was a little cringy, but I like her more later on through the movie as she becomes more adventurous and isn't afraid of the risks ahead. She tries to help Tim out and gain info on his father, but for the most part to me it seems like she doesn't do a ton other than act as his love interest. I still love her and her interactions with her partner Psyduck though, who is treated like a ticking time bomb due to the psychic powers he obtains through his migraines. I feel like this is some of the funniest content of the movie, just seeing how Pokemon and people get along and these different dynamics between them. I thought that it was really cute to see a serious person like Tim with someone like Pikachu who is obsessed with coffee and is just goofy in general. And then there are people like Lucy with her partner who is adorably strapped in like this carrier on her back, and it is so adorable. She seems to really care for Psyduck, even though Psyduck seems to be a pain in the neck also. And there are also people, like at the police department with his Snubble, who is very grumpy. I think that just the charm of this movie as a whole is the relationships of people in Rhyme City and their Pokemon. In fact, the city runs on the partnership of people and Pokemon living side by side, and Tim gains a lot of character development through learning to trust in Pikachu, coming to care for the tiny mouse Pokemon on a deep level. This movie is honestly a great one for any Pokemon fan, or even for people who don't know much about Pokemon or are just getting into it. My boyfriend only knows so much about Pokemon, but he told me he liked the movie, and his favorite part was, quote, when the Bulba buddies were waddling around. He also asked me if Mewtwo was the strongest Pokemon, which seems to be a debate among some Pokemon fans, and it was honestly just funny and a good time for us to experience together. It is definitely a fun movie to be enjoyed with those you care about, and I saw people of all ages within the theater. I think that Pokemon is such a great series because it can gather together people from young to old, and it's something that everybody can kind of cherish. If you want to see something absolutely adorable, this is the right movie. It is a sweet movie with a wholesome ending that will make viewers smile. It's a nice movie to sit back and relax to, and it's definitely fun to see the adaptations of Pokemon into this unique art style. Although some people debate on whether or not they like it, I think for the most part that they turn out pretty cute, and even for the ones that don't, it's still really interesting. Overall, I recommend this to Pokemon fans or those who are getting into the fandom. It's definitely a good family movie, and there are lots of positives to enjoy. What did you think of the movie if you've watched it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more content and leave a like, and I'd really like to see you in another video. Bye!